Welcome to the after show. Welcome to the after show. What do you know? It's Chris McCarty. How you doing, buddy?
I'm back.
And Cords Owen, how are you doing?
Very good, very good.
All right, good. I'm glad you guys are finally able to make it.
Yeah, man.
Well, I haven't seen you in forever. How are you you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing, sir?
Man, I feel like an old man today. My back hurt. Yeah, my back's hurt all week. Last night doing my, after my gig, you're breaking down or whatnot. Have you ever done gigs where your back's just shot?
My back hurts right now all the time, son.
And then afterwards you're getting equipment like this. You're like going,
yeah, you're bending down like that. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I've herniated a disc, and so 2 times, like right during a week. I mean, it's like you can't bend over too much. You got, man, a herniated disc are no joke. Was it a herniated disc or was it just like something else?
I don't know. I woke up on a Sunday and my back was a little hurting, and it just got worse and worse throughout the week.
What kind of shoes you wearing? Because you might want to check into those. I had to buy some like really expensive Nikes, like they're great for my knees and back. But I mean, shoes they do. Do you have back issues, Quartz? You don't look like
I do from time to time, actually.
Really? You don't? The Quartz looks like all healthy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I used to do. Of course, I played collegiate sports.
That's right.
We did a lot of power, like Olympic lifting and things
yeah.
like that. And so I was getting back into that in CrossFit, and I think I pulled something in my back doing a deadlift of like 325 or something like that.
Oh my god! In CrossFit?
CrossFit.
That's why I'm not doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to make me not walk.
I'm more of a yoga fit kind of a guy. At best, yoga fit. Flipping tires. No, I'm going to meditate on the tire. Well, listen. We don't have a lot of time to jerk around. I have a meeting at 1 o'clock with a potential bride, but I just want to talk about the future of the Wake.Show. I know you've been listening over the past couple of weeks, and you've heard me go back and forth to some things. What are your thoughts? Where's your head right now, Chris?
I kind of like, I go with a flow. I'm getting into just the natural thing. I mean, I know that school's starting, so that's going to be a new routine. Summer is ending, and so I feel like for me, I think I'm about to go on tour with Chase. I don't know when.
Do you know the details, or
I don't know, and I'm not pressing. All I know is he told me, like, once we get the dates together, I'm gonna officially make you my opener, and then we'll go from there. But right now he's just chilling off the grid, trying to come down. So, but it's fall, and so I would assume October through March, April. So
and I'm glad you end up making it here, because there's been a lot that's gone on with this show since going back to the very beginning, and there has been people that I just learned so much from the beginning, with Cords and Johnny that first put this on, to Sam Miller, who came through for a couple months, and then you that joined the show and helped me get more out of my comfort zone, even though this is already out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
But with that, and a lot of the uncomfortableness that came along with it, there was a lot of learning along the way, and at the same time, there was also there's a lot of a lot of highlights along the way, the positivity that came along.
Sure.
And one of those things, speaking of positivity, is really the approach to the news, because it is so easy to get mired down in the headlines of the day, and it's not good news. It's not like if you were to go, here's stuff you should know, and rattle off the headlines, people go, oh, feel pretty good after that.
Right.
But at the same time, the battle I've had in my head about not ignoring the issues of the day as well. So I'm very excited about the future. I don't know what's going to happen to the Wake.Show. Cords, do you have any thoughts on the Wake.Show before? Because I want to lay out what I think the future of the Wake.Show could be.
Yeah, I would like you to lay it out. I mean, if it's what we've been talking about, I'm totally in alignment with you about what this new version of the Wake.Show.
Okay.
That we've been talking about.
All right.
What have y'all been talking about?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, no, it's where it's like one of the things about the Wake.Show is.
Are you saying this could continue as the Wake.Show?
We need to kind of figure out the branding of it all. Right. I definitely am totally on board. I mean, I'm supporting both of you guys with being able to use a studio and make whatever the heck you want to make. I feel like we need to kind of follow down that path of micro programming a little bit more, to make it more niche, to plug into an audience that is hungry for some of the information we can bring to them.
Yeah.
What he means by that is one of the things that it seems to be a common thread through the successful shows that are podcasting or live streaming on the internet and stuff like that is they're not all-encompassing mainstream shows. They are focused. They're niche. They're focused on video games, or they're focused on this part of technology, or this. So that's what he means by micro-programming, right? And niche stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, when I was thinking about, we've had this conversation idea with me potentially, doing my own thing, and a lot of things that I think about is like, I would want my show to be highly intelligent with really, really, I mean, like right now, I find myself just looking and watching.
I'm
people
with you,
who
man.
Are really good art, really good at interviewing, and like just trying to find like what makes a good interview. Obviously, it's good questions. How do you really focus on the person that's there? I'm thinking about my resources, like who do I know, and and like wanting to. If I had a Chris McCarty show, like what would it be? Obviously music, and so I'm kind of figuring that out along the way. But yeah, I feel like he's right, man. You got to figure out like one thing. What is your niche? And you nailed it.
So I think that for me, the Wake.Show, because of the name, because of what Cords came up with a month ago when you said the Wake you make, then to me the Wake.Show is it's a weekly show. And whether it's hosted by one person or like, I originally said to Chris, I was like, hey, maybe it's a show where you and I come together once a week as a competition where we go out and we have a task every week that we have to do that's, charitable. We're doing something positive in the community. At the same time, you bring those people that are already, influencers in the community and bring them in, on the show as well, and da-da-da-da-da. So I think the future of the Wake, it doesn't need to be a competition, or it can be a one, host show. But then, yeah, they are they bring in somebody who is having an impact. So it's the Wake you make, the Wake.Show. Or, Cords and I even talked about, hey, man, there's a lot already into this. There's a lot of infrastructure, websites, backline stuff, and maybe we can package this right, and somebody else could pick it up, where somebody goes, hey, I'd like to own the Wake.Show. I've got some ideas. Yeah, and sell it to them.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think, sorry, go ahead, Cords. You were going to say something? Oh.
I was just clearing my throat.
Okay. Let me clear my throat. Yeah, I just feel like I love change. I embrace it. I do. I feel like maybe a name change would be great. I understand the whole deal. I get it. Trust me. We've got the likes, and I understand that. But, there's something to be said about, like, you said Johnny's been here, and this person's been here, and this person's been here. Like, what if it was new? I mean, there's something about like, like when you move to a new city, you don't see, me and my ex used to go here, and the things in the back of your mind. It's like, it's a brand new start. And there's something about fresh. It's like a relationship that you break up, but you're still kind of lingering.
I'm with you on the fresh. Absolutely. It's the only challenge we have with that is in order for us to get sponsorship of the show, we have to be able to show numbers. And when it's fresh, you don't have an audience.
That's true.
It's one of those things we need to factor in.
Right.
So.
But we also feel pretty confident that if we come up with the right concept, there's already people that said
way faster.
Right. If we come up with the right concept, there's already a couple people said, well, count me in if you guys go down this path here. So by the way, when we come back, the plan is to have a daily show, to still have a daily show, just be, like you said, maybe focused a little bit more. So with that is that what you called it? Micro programming that we were talking about. Yeah. And that. So there will be a daily show. We're just going to switch it up a little bit. And if the Wake.Show continues, it'll be something completely different or different enough, and its own thing.
The different but same.
Yeah,
with
its
voice
own thing.
And the energy and positivity.
Well, listen, Chris, I know you've alluded to. Do you have any lanes? Because I have a feeling this might be as difficult for you as it's been for me to pick. If there's a Chris McCarty show, what is it? Because you're very talented, you're very intelligent, you have a multitude of talents. So, and I could see your brain going, how can I include all this thing in the one show? And then I could see your brain going, wait, I'm just going to focus on this. So where are you right now?
So I stop and think, I want to, gag people and scare people. Been done. And then I'm like, video games would be cool. It's like, but how can you really get someone's full attention? Because the idea, I was thinking, what if you play video games and you're interviewing them, but can you really get their full attention when they're playing video games? No. And then you think, okay, if you have a moment, and I know that I feel myself to be a pretty intelligent person. I would want the brain to be moving. I would want, I really want to get into why someone is a person and the meaning of life, and just really get everyone thinking. And I know that I'm into music, and I think I'm pretty good with it. So it's like, well, what if my job was to try to push people along like I do normally? And so I just scout out really good music and musicians and bands and bring them in.
I think that's perfect.
And then I interview them, and then I interview them, and and then along the way, you know, like, stay in my lane. Like, music's my lane. So I mean, the fact that I'm going to go on the road with Chase, we're going to meet a lot of people. And then there's, you know, I might be writing for some other people that are up and coming and have them involved. Like the fact that I just saw Julia, and they're going to be coming. Julia Baird, John Lennon's sister, is going to be coming into Florida in February. We'll have her on there. So I just feel like, I think that's my lane, just music. And I know we all know music's a great connector, and, like, you know, there's a lot of parts to everybody, but I feel like that would be. I
think people see you as a musical authority,
guy,
right?
Yeah. And so not like me playing. Like, at first I was like, well, what if I make me play? No, like, what if I could just take it away from me? Like, I talk about all the times, it's not about you, it's about everyone around you. So if I had a show, I didn't necessarily make it about me. That's been the grappling thing, like, back and forth. Well,
right.
I like. Well, wait, that makes it about me. How can I make it about them? So that's where I'm starting to, like, you know, look at other people who do interviews, what questions they ask, what makes a good interview, and really just try to find a way so that other people who come in and I interview would enjoy it and be like, man, this is great, and, like, I want to have a good interview. So that's what I'm thinking, man.
All right. And Cords, anything else to add in that regard?
No, I mean, I love that idea. I mean, I would just say that people tuning in probably do want to hear you play some too. Maybe y'all jam or something
at the
like
end
that.
or something like that.
Jam would be cool.
You know, or I think.
But my thought was, I just don't want to, like, give all my tricks out, and they're like, we don't need to see him. You can see him here. It's like more like, well, you know, if I do one, like, hey, boo, you know, because I know I'm good, and I don't want to, you know, hey, watch this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how about just make it about somebody else?
But think about how music fans, how much they love to see collaboration. So, yeah, so
exactly.
you bring somebody on,
cool.
You do make it about them for a bit, but then at the end, you have to,
Together.
like, you got,
it's still,
people love that stuff.
Yeah,
that's a great idea, man. It is.
And not only that, buddy, remember when you used to come in the show when I was at 97X, I'd shoot you some lyrics on the way in, and you'd pick.
I love that.
Yeah.
So
you should do that to your guests.
So if you can think of a bit, like, I don't know what it is, like, you just pull, like, it's a random
you could do
news story.
That's what I was gonna say. You find out what's happening in the news now and write a song about what's happening in the news and make it a spoof.
Right, you can do it every week.
Yeah, I mean, that would be good, and that keeps it fresh and it's funny.
Fun,
and,
right.
Yeah.
So what about you, Chris? What do you pick? I know you got to go, but a couple minutes. Like, what's your passion?
So what my passion is to put together a show that makes you proud. That's my passion. A show that makes you proud and makes the people here at Bake More Pies proud to know that this show is coming out of the building, so that when they're around their friends or whatever and they go, oh my gosh, the show's on right now, it's at Bake, it's the coolest show. That's my passion. That's what I want to put together.
That's a passion, but that's putting it on them, which you focusing back on your
that's
passion.
So I'm touched by that.
Yeah.
You know, I can, you know, it makes me
feel the respect.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's going to make that happen is for you to dive into content. So what's that content that you're going to pursue?
Because the stuff that interests me is what's going on in the world today.
Okay.
And the stuff that really gets me going are all the headlines. But we're going to try to stay away from that, because then we get too opinion based and nobody wants to hear my opinion, because I'm a radio DJ, should be talking about music, not about the issues of the day. So
hold on a second before we debate it, because I know Chris has got to leave. He's late. He's late for a meeting, and I think we can talk about that for a long time. But we've got 2 weeks to kind of sort that out.
Right. And so there we are too. Is I am not dead set on any one thing.
Okay.
All I know is I want to focus on putting together that show that makes you proud. And at the same time, I'm not my focus is going to be put together. I'm excited about this voice demo thing.
Absolutely.
I just had my first demo I turned in. I got an audition. Did I even tell you? You don't even know this.
This is great.
This is huge.
You got to set up.
And then
Chris has got to run.
Because my meeting is 10 minutes away and we're 11 minutes out.
Maybe you can pipe in later or something, and from your cell phone, and you can and you can tell us how keep us up to date on the progress of that.
There's no progress on it except for I made a tape last week to give to my friends at 97X because I said your voice guy basically. I think the radio station sounds great, but your voice guy
sucks.
Yeah, I just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. So I was really had a lot of tequila in me. I said I'm going to give you a tape. So I made a tape. Right.
Good.
Well, I never heard back from my friends from 97X, but somebody else in the building went, "Hey, there's an audition for this other radio station,
nice,
and I think you'd be perfect."
Boom.
So I auditioned this week. So we'll see how it works.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much, you guys. Love you both.
Awesome. Good, bro. Love you too, brother.
All of our futures are bright.
That's a fact.
Where are my shades at? Hey, I'm so stupid. That's so dumb.
Speaking of these are what's her face. Remember, was her name Diane?
Yeah, Diane.
Remember? I've been wearing when Chris went on overseas. One of the last things he said to me that Friday was, "Don't lose your sunglasses. Make sure you're always wearing make sure you always have your sunglasses." And the next day I could not find the sunglasses.
That reminds me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Don't forget your towel.
And Chris, I lost those sunglasses the next day. I couldn't find them. They disappeared. Now I ended up finding them a couple weeks later, but I've been wearing her sunglasses ever since. All right, I'm way late. Thank you so much. Love you guys, and we'll figure it out
Peace.
soon.